Hi and welcome to an introduction to mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is a moment-to-moment awareness and acceptance of our thoughts, our feelings, emotions and behaviours. It's an ability to be present, experiencing life as it happens in the here and now, the only moment that really matters. After all, it's only in the present moment that we can take action, learn, grow, heal and create. We spend an estimated 50% of our time ruminating about the past which has gone, or worrying about the future which never quite pans out in the way we expect it to, which is quite a lot of wasted time when we could be actively engaged in the present moment instead. It's estimated that we think approximately 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 95% of these are subconscious thoughts. Since many of these thoughts are the same as the day before, we end up making the same choices, leading to the same behaviours, the same experiences, the same emotions and feelings, and thus the same thoughts, a vicious circle of perpetuating the old self. So it makes sense that we become more aware of our thoughts so that we can start to create new thought patterns, new behaviours, new experiences, new feelings and emotions, and thus new thoughts. In essence, a virtuous circle and a new way of being. Mindfulness is also about acknowledging when we are distracted by thoughts and being able to see them as just thoughts, not necessarily fact. Being able to step away from them and take on the perspective of an observer to our thoughts, rather than getting swept away with them and down the rabbit hole with them. And this viewpoint can be extremely liberating. In essence, mindfulness is quite simple. It's just not that easy to do. If it was, we'd all be doing it instead of wasting so much time brooding on the past or the future, caught up in our thoughts, instead of being actively engaged in the present moment. So how can we practice mindfulness? Well, meditation is one way in which we can be more mindful, but it's not essentially mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being actively engaged in the present moment, without judgment or criticism. Mindfulness is a presence, an awareness of something, our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our behaviours, and as such it can be practiced anywhere. Whilst meditation is a way to practice mindfulness, it's the formal practice of mindfulness. It supports and enriches our mindfulness practice, just as being mindful in our meditation practice supports our meditation. They're interlinked and support one another, but are subtly different. Meditation is sometimes referred to as an awareness of nothing, although this simplifies meditation, because often when we're in meditation, particularly when we're new to the practice, we use our breath or our body as an anchor to keep us in the moment, and thus we're aware of these anchors. But essentially, when your practice deepens, you get a sense of being, with no distractions in your meditation space, a sense of nothing. Although, of course, as soon as you notice this, you're distracted and boom, the nothing has evaporated because you're thinking thoughts. See, it's not quite as simple as it first appears. Meditation is not about controlling our thoughts. We can't stop our mind from doing what it does, thinking thoughts, but we can stop our thoughts from controlling us. This subtle distinction enables us to avoid the frustration of the noisy and busy mind we often notice when we settle down into our meditation space. You're not doing anything wrong. When we get still and silent, we notice how busy and noisy our mind is. Many refer to this as the monkey mind. Mindfulness is simply noticing this and guiding your attention back to your anchor. Every time you get distracted, it's another moment of mindfulness. Indeed, if you can bring some gratitude to this momentary reminder, that also helps. So, mindfulness is about noticing our mind has wandered, again and again. and again and again. And choosing, instead of getting swept away with whatever it is that we're thinking about, to acknowledge and observe that train of thought, that feeling, the emotion or the behaviour, and gently anchoring ourselves back in the present moment, using our breath or our body, without judging whatever it was that distracted us in the first place, just accepting it, bringing a sense of kindful acceptance to it, maybe even a sense of curiosity. And meditation is one way to practice mindfulness. But we can also practice mindfulness by trying informal practices. These informal practices, such as eating mindfully or walking mindfully, help to bring mindfulness into our everyday life. And we will be exploring some of these practices later in the series. So, the differentiation between meditation and mindfulness is subtle, as is the impact of these practices. I'm afraid there's no lightning bolts out of the sky, but they do bring about profound shifts. Establishing a mindfulness and meditation practice isn't easy. It is, after all, why they're called practices. They take practice, but it is definitely worthwhile. We will be practicing a short breath awareness meditation and a body scan meditation, which are both ideal starting points for establishing a practice of mindfulness. I look forward to seeing you then.